Welcome to Get Your Bell Rung, a pro wrestling podcast, the SmackDown recap, December 5th, 2025. With me tonight are my co-host, the host of Rasslin Memories, of course, talking about the Grizzled Vet, and with us, WCW veteran, author of Looking Up at the Lights. I am talking about none other than Robbie Idol. What's going on, guys?
How you doing, KG? How you doing, Michael?
I'm doing all right. Hey, Robbie, got big news for you. You're gonna like this, right?
Okay.
Watching SmackDown recap. I also on the phone. I'm watching some Ring of Honor, right?
Okay.
Mercedes Moné lost the title tonight. Red Velvet got it back.
Oh, really?
You know what, asshole?
The Mercedes train. Yeah, the Mercedes train.
You know, you can warn somebody. You can do, I was going back to watch this tonight.
Oh,
but no.
It's one match.
It doesn't matter. That's the only match I wanted to see.
Oh, come on.
Damn it, man. You see what I deal with, fans? Every damn 2 times a week. This is what I deal with the Grizzled Vet.
Hey, KG, here you go. So I want you to see my shirt. So
yes. Steroids, cocaine, and hookers. That sounds like a good Friday night, man. Talk about this shirt. What is this shirt about?
So it was a big thing in powerlifting. I don't know how many years, like maybe 2015 or something, came out as a joke or whatever. And I just thought it was cool. So I wound up doing 2018, I did a powerlifting meet with my daughter. Now, I'll give you a background on my daughter. My daughter's very religious, which doesn't surprise you guys, having Robbie Idol as your dad, right? So you gotta have something to believe in and help you, right? So, but we did a powerlifting meet. Hadn't never been in Nashville Airport, so I had no idea what I'm up against, how big it is, or something. And I go, well, you'll be able to find me when I come out of the airport. And she's like, why? I go, I'll be spottable. And she goes, I go, I'm wearing my shirt. It'll say steroids, cocaine, and hookers. And she's like, no, do not. Guess who came through the airport wearing this shirt? And I heard Robert.
Well, first, Anthony says hello. Thank you for joining us, Anthony. Please don't forget to subscribe, guys. Also, something's missing on that shirt. Gotta be honest with you. There's one thing missing.
What's that?
Tell now. 25 to 30 a day for a month will help you bleed. You're a pro wrestler. So, guys, we're talking about SmackDown tonight. SmackDown, I personally didn't think it was great, but I didn't think it was terrible either. I thought it was a pretty good episode. A couple of good matches tonight. Start with you, Grizzle. What'd you think about SmackDown as a whole?
It was an average SmackDown. I didn't mind it. I liked the way it was. I liked the way they booked it, though. The way the first match and the last match. I kind of like the contrast and styles on that. We'll talk about that as we get into this recap. But I think that was kind of like my favorite part of the whole thing because it just kind of showed you what wrestling is about nowadays.
Yeah, one thing that they keep saying that bugs me is who's early tonight, who is going to be Gunther or LA Knight that is going to retire John Cena? Neither one's retiring John Cena. John Cena's retiring himself. They're making it sound like this is a match that if Cena loses, he has to retire, and that's not the case. I just don't like the way they're putting that. Has been bugging me. Robbie, does that even matter?
Again, you dig in too deep, I think, a little bit, KG, but
Where's Spider-Man?
Gave away a match result.
But I agree with you. I mean, he's retiring. We've known he said this was it for him, and he's retiring. Whoever would have won the match would have, was retiring him.
Right. And Anthony, my man, thanks for that question you asked. But we're going to be covering SmackDown tonight. We won't have a whole lot of time to get into Robbie Idol's career. But this is a thing. Check this out. Grizzled Vet.
Yes.
Telling them when they will be able to hear about Robbie Idol's career, because we just had a question came in for Robbie saying, how hard was it for you to transition from competitor inside the ring to a trainer? And that's a great question, Anthony. But Robbie's going to actually be interviewed by the Grizzled Vet coming up soon, where you'll be able to hear all of those answers that you're looking for. So, Grizzle, why don't you tell them?
You'll be able to listen to Rasslin Memories this Sunday, 12 p.m. Central Standard Time. You can stream it live at radionorthland.org, or you can download the TuneIn Radio app. Just search for Pioneer 90.1 or the Pioneer Community Radio app. We will be interviewing Robbie Idol this week, and I will make sure to ask that question of Robbie during our interview this weekend.
Cool. Anthony also asked a question. He made a comment about Gunther, and I promise, Anthony, I will get to what you said in due time, my man. We're going to go down the list in order of SmackDown tonight. Opening up, shocker, another talking segment. Opening up SmackDown. Cody Rhodes opens the show and demands a match with Drew McIntyre. He wants Drew McIntyre reinstated. Yeah, whatever, man. Didn't really even care, to be honest with you. Look, I like Cody Rhodes. I love that he's with WWE. I'm glad that he's having the success he is having, but I am over this Cody Rhodes. I want something different. I want heel Cody Rhodes. I'm tired of the character that's kind of the corporate kiss ass, fan kiss ass Cody Rhodes. Start with you, Robbie. What'd you think about this, man?
I kind of like the opening segment where you attack Drew, but the Drew Cody thing, I'm over it. I mean, let's move on to the next whatever we're going to move on to. So I'm kind of over the Drew and Cody,
Right.
So I'm over it.
Yeah. What about you, Grizzle?
I agree that Drew and Cody's kind of run its course, I think. I honestly missed the first minute or so of the show. I was out in the other room for a second. I came back in. I had no clue what was going on. I saw Drew in the car and trying to speed away. And my wife's like, hey, Cody attacked him in his car. I'm like, yeah. Oh, okay. And then it came to the ring. I like the promo, though, because I like it when Cody's a little more fired up than that, being super casual, whatever. Now, you mentioned a heel Cody Rhodes. The only concern I have about that, though, is I'm afraid it could be another John Cena. We get a heel Cody Rhodes, and it just falls flatter in a plate of piss.
Well, it depends how they book it. I mean, I think the reason Cena's kind of fell flat was because nothing changed about Cena except for his attitude, which, and
the Rock not being there, that he just kind of disappeared.
Yeah,
but that's just what I'm afraid of.
Yeah, and the thing with Cody is, look, this is the same. At least in my opinion, same thing he does, same promo he does, just insert name. And I'm burnt out. And then the whole thing with the attacking the car, I mean, just does nothing for me at all. I think it looks more silly than it does threatening. Just wasn't my cup of tea. We go backstage, Damian Priest, and who is with him? Rhea Ripley. They're basically challenging Aleister Black and Zelina Vega. Now, question, has this whole program with Rhea and Io Sky and what they were doing, has that just kind of been tossed to the side now? Or are we going to see Rhea in multiple storylines here? Grizzle?
No, I don't think we've seen the end of Rhea and Io Sky and the tag title chase. I think this is just kind of a sidebar. Damian Priest, she obviously has a connection to him, the Terror Twins, the Judgment Day.
Right.
He has an issue right now. Aleister Black has his wife with him. Damian needs somebody on his side to kind of even the odds a little bit. So Rhea's like, hey, I'm back. It's just kind of a little sidebar thing. I don't think it takes away from the women's belt thing. And I don't think this is going to be a continuing thing. It's just another chapter in the Damian Aleister feud. But it just kind of evens the odds now because now Zelina is going to have to get in there and compete as well.
Yeah, I mean, I didn't hate it. I don't hate the fact that we're going to see these two again. I still believe that this storyline is leading to Damian Priest turning heel and joining Aleister Black. I'm.
You just want everybody to turn heel. Jesus.
Well, because there's just certain people that I'm tired of, and Cody again is one of them. I prefer heel Cody, and Damian Priest needs to turn heel because the fans they've kind of cooled off on him. Something new needs to be done, and I think Damian Priest and Aleister Black would really complement each other. I think that they would look great together. Robbie, your thoughts on this?
Yeah, I mean, it seems like the fans have cooled off on Damian Priest, so maybe you do something, different with them. And I mean, when he was in Ring of Honor, he was a heel, so maybe it'll be a good thing for him. But the Rhea and him, it's just, I think they're, like Vet said, it's just the sidebar for, even out the odds and stuff. So, but it would be good to see Dan, the guy's good. I like him, it just seems like he's kind of lost in the shuffle right now.
Yeah. Now, the next we've seen the drag it off with the open challenge issue, Carmelo Hayes. He's going against Carmelo Hayes. And guys, for myself, this was the best match of the night. I love this match. I don't think you can go wrong having Dragunov and Carmelo Hayes competing against one another. I thought it was one hell of a match. Unfortunately, Ciampa interferes, helping Dragunov get the win, although Dragunov did not know that this is how he won the match. He was down. The referee was kind of tending to him when Ciampa came and pushed Carmelo Hayes off the ropes. Look, I for a minute there, I'm like, holy shit, we're about to see a title change. I really thought, I mean, that DDT that Carmelo Hayes gave Dragunov on the edge of the ring there, man, that just looked brutal. I think that was the move of the night for me. Robbie, your thoughts on this?
Yeah, I agree. Match of the night. I mean, I thought it was match of the night. And I mean, way to open up at least, at least when you put a match out there, at least you put something good out there. So, but it was, I mean, back and forth. And I mean, there was a couple of times you thought, well, maybe they're putting Carmelo over and he's going to, be the new title holder. But great match. So,
yeah, that man, would you have preferred to see a clean victory? Or did you know right away what this was going to lead to? And by the way, as Dragunov was walking backstage, he's seeing the replay of what happened and he was pissed. And we'll get to that in a little bit. Your thoughts, man?
I'm with you guys. I thought it was a great match. I'm agree. Match of the night. Not sure on that one though. And we'll talk about that. No, Grant, no, great match, but we'll talk about that. Like I said, tonight's show kind of had a bookend, and I liked it. You had two good ends, and then you had your middle section. I liked it that way. I had no problem with the way they did this. The finish still gives it didn't take away from the match, and it builds up, and now it's giving us Tommaso Ciampa versus Ilya, which we knew was coming.
Right.
They were just building up to it, so I had no problem with the finish, and I don't think it really hurt the match. And I honestly, Carmelo, I didn't think. Yeah, okay, he got a few wins, but I think we all kind of knew it was going to be Ilya's through the whole thing, just because, I mean, right now, Ilya is just like on a rocket ship to the top. The guy is just amazing at what he does. So, but I enjoyed the match.
Yeah, and since you brought it up, I was going to talk about it now. This led to a backstage segment where Dragunov went to Nick Aldis and demanded that he gets a match against Ciampa, which Nick Aldis said, sure, absolutely. Guys, do you think that we're going to see Ciampa actually win the title, or do you think that Dragunov is going to win this match and have this belt for a while? Grizzle.
I'm going to go with it's going to be a DQ finish, allowing Ilya to contain, because Johnny Gargano is going to do something and get involved or whatever thing, and it's going to screw it up, and that's going to set up that split between Ciampa and Gargano.
Right, but here's my question. There's no way that Carmelo Hayes is just going to be okay with happening. So are we going to see him injected into all of this, Robbie?
It's possible. It's possible. Didn't even think it, but like when you said with the match, I mean, I see why they did and put, Ciampa in there to set the match up with them. You may, one of the pay-per-views, you may see a three-way with Ciampa, Hayes, and Dragunov. I think Dragunov's going to hold it for a little bit. I think they'll give him a little bit of a run with it.
Right. Right. Yeah, look, I'll be honest. I wasn't a Dragunov fan until he actually came back. There's just something different. I think it seems like his intensity is he has more than what he did before he was gone, before his injury. There's something different about him that is really drawing me into this guy, and I'm investing in him versus beforehand, I was just kind of lukewarm on him. I don't know exactly what it is, but I've become a fan of him.
Did you not see his NXT stuff? Just out
I
of
did.
curiosity.
I did. I'm talking
Because
about
you're
when he got
talking
to the roster.
intensity. Look at that series of matches he had with, well, at that time, Walter, now Gunther.
Right.
You know, you're talking intensity. Those two left it all. Blood, sweat, everything in the middle of that ring.
They did. I'm talking
so I'm
main
trying to
event.
figure out where Ilya didn't have the intensity.
I'm talking about main roster, man. Main roster.
Oh, you're talking main roster. Okay.
Yeah.
Main roster, Ilya. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, we all see that when they go to the main roster, sometimes we get kind of a more kid-friendly, family-friendly version.
Right.
But
right. That's what I'm saying. I wasn't
okay.
a fan of
I'll give you that one.
Roster.
I was worried when you said intensity. I'm
yeah. And I think that's actually, I think that's what it is. I think right now we're seeing more of that NXT Dragunov than we have since he's been on the main roster. And I think that might be the difference. I mean, Robbie, do you see that difference that I'm talking about?
Yes. Yeah, definitely. I can see it. And I think maybe sometimes when you come up from NXT, there might be a little bit of that intimidation factor, maybe, or do I belong here? You know, there might be different factors involved in it, or, you know, or just trying to fit in. So all of a sudden, once you find your niche, then all of a sudden everything kind of falls in place. So it could be a bunch of factors, but I'm with you. When he came up, I was not a fan.
Yeah. Next, we go to backstage promo with Charlotte Flair and Alexa Bliss. You know, they almost seem like they were kind of not on the same page a little bit, but in a comedy way. So I was a little confused about, are they trying to plant seeds here, or is this just some type of a funny promo they're trying to do? Ultimately, it led to Charlotte saying Alexa Bliss needs to take care of Kairi Sane, which there was a match later on in the night. Robbie, man, your thoughts on this promo? And do you know what I'm talking about? It's like the little hand thing they do. They were off on it, but it was kind of a ha-ha moment.
And are they teasing a breakup? You know, so hard to say where they're going with it.
Right.
So, I mean, I don't know. It's, you know, are we teasing the breakup? Or are we trying to set that, you know, precedent that there is going to be the breakup? You know, you just don't know with what creative's doing back there.
Right. Grizzled Vet, is that what was happening? Were they teasing a breakup, or was this just a comedy spot showing the difference between the two?
I did not see it as teasing a breakup. I think, you know, you might be looking a little too much into it. I think it kind of went along the lines of, because Alexa said, you know, oh, we're friends. And it's showing that, you know, they're friends, but Charlotte's kind of awkward and can't get the hand gestures down right. So she's kind of awkward. She's new to being someone's friend. And so I took it more just like a comedy thing, like, oh, we're friends now. And Charlotte's like, yeah, we're bestie. And crap.
Yep. And I'll tell you what, someone who earned their money tonight was Kathy Kelly, because holy shit, she had a lot of backstage interviews tonight. Speaking of, we go to one. LA Knight, he speaks with Kathy Kelly about his main event match. It was just blah. I mean, it was the typical LA Knight promo type of a thing. Is there any need to go into depth about it, Grizzled, Robbie?
No, it was like you said, it was a typical LA Knight. None of the promos tonight really jumped out like, oh my God, stellar.
There was one. There was one we'll get to that I really liked. Next, we go to the Kairi Sane versus Alexa Bliss match. I was a little disappointed in this match. I thought that because these two are similar size, that it would be much better than it was. It wasn't a bad match by any means, but I guess maybe I set the bar too high of what I was expecting out of this match. Alexa Bliss Alexa Bliss did defeat Kairi Sane, but then there was a post-match. Last Legend and Nia Jax attacked pretty much everybody, and they pretty much kicked everybody's ass. Look, Robbie, I know you're not a big fan of Nia Jax, but I'm telling you, her and Last Legend, I like as a tag team. They look dominant, and I think that when they do face the Kabuki Warriors for that tag team title, I personally think it should be a squash match to show how much they do dominate. Grizzled, what was your thoughts on the match as well as the attack?
I thought the match was okay. You mentioned similar size. The whole thing with Kairi saying like trying to be, oh, she's taller and like by like what, a quarter of an inch maybe. It's like there's no. Match was decent. I'm not a Nia Jax fan. I think she's hurt too many people and goofed too many times. I just can't get into her. I can't, I like Lash Legend. I'll give you. I like her. I'm just not a Nia. And they just kind of randomly pair women with Nia Jax. Okay, Tiffany Stratton. Okay, now Lash Legend. Now whoever else they can throw in there to be her partner or whatever. So
yeah,
I don't think they have anything to do with Nia. And pairing her in tag team matches keeps her, safe. Everybody else can make her look good.
Yeah, don't misunderstand me. I have never been a Nia Jax fan, but I think teaming her, and you're right, they've teamed her with a lot of people, but I think teaming her with Lance Legend is the best pairing that they've done with her. And I think that Lance kind of elevates Nia Jax a little bit. Lance makes Nia Jax look better than what
Lash.
she is. Huh?
You keep saying Lance, it's Lash.
Oh, Lash, sorry.
Lash Legend.
I'm reading off of my notes. I had a typo here. Yeah, Lash Legend.
Lash Legend's a bigger girl too, so she fits better. She's a bigger girl than the little tiny one, whatever. So she makes more of a powerhouse team with Nia than the other girls have in the past. So it fits. I'm not saying it's a bad fit. It's just she's the partner of the month for Nia.
She is, but do you disagree, Robbie, that Lash Legend actually elevates Nia Jax and makes Nia look better and more brutal than what she actually is?
Not really. I mean,
well, damn you, man.
I'm sorry. Well, because you go back to War Games and you see some of this stuff, like where Vet said her botches, her this, like some of the weak ass shit she did in the war and previous War Games, in this with like the tap of with the chair instead of swinging it. I mean, I get it. She's big, whatever, but hey, you're hitting them in the back. You can take that. You can take that shot. Yeah. I kind of like Lance better than Lash, because I think Lance fits more on Legend there. So, but
the opinions expressed by Robbie Idol are not the opinions of Get Your Bell Rung Pro Wrestling Podcast.
Make sure that disclaimer is there. So, but I mean, I will give her this, like Lash is. I mean, I'm not a big fan of her at all. I wasn't a fan of her in NXT, but at least like when she's throwing punches and stuff, she does look brutal. So I'll give her that. She does look like, that the big punch that she throws and stuff is probably one of the best I've ever seen by any of the women. I will give her that. So, it looks devastating. I mean, I don't know if it is, but it looks devastating.
The next match is a match I had a problem with. We'll get into it. Jay Cargill versus Abba Fire. Of course, it was teased that we were about to get into the match, but then we go into commercial. We get back from commercial. I think Kelly again in an interview. She's talking with Lash Legend and Nia Jax about their attack on Bliss. I didn't care what they had to say because it was just a bunch of blah blah. If you guys want to discuss it, then feel free to bring up your thoughts on it.
I think I actually missed that backstage segment.
Did you? I just kind of thought the ending they were trying to be like the Wayman brothers when they kind of went off there with the two thumbs up or whatever.
Right. So
for the newer generation, go back and watch like old clips of Living in Color.
Yeah. Miss Lori Bird, thank you for joining us. She says, good evening.
I got that reference, Robbie. I got it.
Okay. Well, I was just talking for the younger generation that had no clue.
Yeah. Next, right after that, we go to the recap. Is a
I don't get to give my opinion of Jade
well, go ahead.
match?
Well, we didn't get to the match yet.
Oh,
Calm down.
okay.
Calm down.
I got lost.
Jesus. Next, we go to a recap as a highlight package of Chelsea Green being attacked by Jade Cargill last week, which is the reason why we're having this match with Jade Cargill and Alba Fire, because, of course, Alba Fire is with Chelsea Green. We've seen interference from Kiana James and Julia, who basically ran Chelsea off. Then the match takes place. Well, it was during the match that this happened. Look, this was my problem with this match. We just talked about a couple of weeks ago, Jade Cargill pretty much had a squash match against B-Fab. She pretty much squashed B-Fab. This match against Alba Fire got a shit ton of offense, and it even almost looked like that if Alba Fire would have been distracted by the whole Chelsea Green and Julia shit that was going on outside, that Alba Fire could have actually got the win. And I got a problem with that because there's no way you're going to convince me that Alba Fire is so much of a badass that she's more of a badass than B-Fab. Sorry, guys. I found that to just be an absolute fucking joke. Jade Cargill, nonetheless, she did eventually get the victory, but only because Alba Fire was distracted. Again, Alba Fire was kicking Jade's ass all during the match. Go ahead, Vet.
Okay, we did talk about this. Jade Cargill needs to run roughshod over people, but they don't have the lower level talent to have her run roughshod. They're going to have her dominate everybody, bring in some of the Evolve girls or the NXT girls that are still working. Bring in one of those girls.
You're missing my point. But you're missing my point is that no way, even in the land of I'm suspending my disbelief, can I suspend it so much that I believe that Alba Fire is more of a badass than B-Fab. But yet B-Fab's the one that got squashed, and Alba Fire pretty much beat Jade Cargill's ass until she got distracted. To me, that's terrible booking.
Let me finish my thing. Jade Cargill does need to be dominant. Yes. Should she have been dominant against Alba Fire? No, because Jade is going to be in a feud with Chelsea. Alba Fire is Chelsea's. So if Alba Fire gets squished, then people are going to be like, okay, why the hell is Chelsea associating with this girl? How is she part of her secret Hervis? And it's going to make Alba look bad. Alba's a higher on the card, in my opinion, than B-Fab. B-Fab, you can feed to her. They should not have fed Alba Fire to Jade Cargill. Should Alba Fire have had as much offense as she got? No. But she shouldn't have been a complete squash or sacrifice. So I agree with you to a point, but Alba Fire shouldn't have been fed to her as much as they fed B-Fab to her.
But this is the problem. Think about some of Alba Fire's matches, where the matches were pretty much squash matches, where she didn't have much offense. And these were against people that is nowhere near as how they present Jade Cargill. And that's my problem is I like consistency with booking. And Alba Fire being put in a position that she's better than B-Fab or that she could handle Jade Cargill better than B-Fab should have. I have a problem with that. Robbie, your thoughts on it, man?
I don't have a problem. I mean, think of like they were when she was with Isla Dawn, they were tag team champions and stuff. So, and I agree with Vet that it's Chelsea Green's secret Hervis, and so you squash her. It doesn't. Now you're going, why is she, supposedly Chelsea's bodyguard and stuff? Right. Maybe not as much offense as she got, but I wouldn't have squashed her. And I honestly think if you put Alba with, against B-Fab, I think Alba is a better worker than B-Fab. I mean, I know you're looking and you like, and I'm not trying to, diss it, but I think Alba's been working longer than B-Fab, and I think she's just a better worker than B-Fab. I mean, if you're going to do something with B-Fab, like we talked about before, pull her from from TV and take her off for a while and, you know, have her put 10 pounds on and, you know, come back a little bit more jacked up and stuff. And then, you know, feed her some, either you get local talents or bring some of the girls that aren't as seasoned down NXT or newer and have her just run roughshod through them. But,
Well,
you know, I just think Alba's just a better worker than.
well, I tell you what, somebody from a creative is listening to us, because what happened next backstage? So Jade Cargill and B-Fab confront one another. So I don't think they're done with this, but of course, B-Fab is also affiliated with Mishi, and she showed up. So something is going to happen there. That we're going to see a match between, I have a feeling, Mishi and Jade Cargill. But I don't think the whole B-Fab thing is done with. And again, I think of all the women there, B-Fab's the one that looks more realistic to be able to kick Jade's ass. If they do something with her, I don't disagree with you. I think that she should be taken off of TV, put some more muscles on her, repackage her a little bit, and then have this huge feud between the two. Grizzle?
I agree with, you know, like what Robbie said, you know, B-Fab put her away for now. I want to see like Jade and Michin go at it. Actually, that's kind of a matchup I want to see.
Yeah.
So I didn't mind it when you saw it right in between two. You saw the kendo stick come in because I'm like, okay,
right.
There's Michin. I like her, and I don't think they've used her properly. They brought her in, and then they tried to make her part of that god awful craptastic retribution storyline thing, and luckily it didn't, you know, sour her enough where they were able to kind of repackage her, bring her back in, stick her with AJ Styles and the Good Brothers. They christened her Michin, and there you went. So they were able to kind of repackage her before she got ruined. So
yep. Robbie, is that a match you would like to see? Michin, Jade Cargill?
Well, I don't think Jade could hang with her or had that types of matches. I was going to say like a hardcore match or the way they have. I like Michin in those hardcore matches and stuff, or the you know, like the just the off the wall kind of matches. I just don't think Jade could do that. But also, did you notice though, after she beat Alba Fire, I mean, most of the crowd didn't care. I mean, you really didn't hear a lot of cheers for Jade. You know,
Jade's a heel though.
Yeah, but still, I mean, you know, you saw a few people clapping and stuff, but it was pretty quiet. With like, it's almost like, okay, now she's got a title. Is she going to be like, you know, Adam Page from AEW, where, okay, now you got a title, who cares, you know?
Yeah. Well, let's not forget, man, Jade Cargill, she's that bitch.
I just don't think the fans are taking the Jade Cargill the way that WWE was hoping for.
Right.
When they signed her, dude, it was all over ESPN, Sports Illustrated, and then she came in kind of crapped the bed because you found out that in AEW she looked amazing because she was a big fish in a little tiny pond. Then she went to WWE and they found out that, you know, she's a little fish in the ocean. So, and I don't think the fans took to it. And I think WWE is still trying to package her as this. She looks great.
Yes.
But I mean, we've seen a lot of people that looked great but never could reach that status where you were like, holy shit, I want to see this person. And I think Jade might be a failed experiment, but they got invested in her, so they're going to do what they can to try to get, you know, something.
Yeah,
right. And I mean, I think they kind of rushed her also because I mean, I remember hearing reports like when she came from AEW and stuff that she was still pretty green. And now you're throwing her with all these girls that, you know, are good workers. And like you said, you know, you're a big fish from a little pond. And now you're a little fish in the big ocean,
right?
You know, and just had problems hanging with some of the people they threw her with in the beginning.
Yeah, I can't argue that. Next, I can't believe I'm even saying this, but was one of my favorite promos of the night. MFT with Solo Sikoa. Solo addressed Sami Zayn being taken out, and then he starts talking about why it's sick. Now, this is the one that kind of it made me laugh a little bit when Solo, well, let's back up a little bit. Solo said, whatever, talking about Bray Wyatt, he gave you, I'm going to take from you. But at the end, whenever he said, believe, that just, I don't know why, it kind of cracked me up a little bit, but it did. We seen the lights go out, Wyatt Sick appear, a massive brawl breaks out. Then we see Tala Tonga left standing tall, and Big Red Rollins Rowans staying there. They go at it. Rowans is the one that's standing tall with the Wyatt Six as MFT are thrown. They're out in the ring. What did you guys think about this, Robbie?
I liked it. I mean, but if you're trying, you didn't help Talatamba, his status on that.
Right.
You kind of made him look a little weak, in my opinion, on that. I think I would have just had a standoff with the two of them to kind of look, okay, these are the powerhouses of this team, and kind of, left it at that instead of having him go out. That,
right.
My opinion, because now you're kind of taking away a little bit from them. I like Solo. I mean, that stuff with Believe and stuff like that. Like I said, there's that little sense of humor from the dude, Right. Is it going to be, you wonder how this is going to be booked or how it's going to go down for the, when they do match up.
I could tell you that, in my opinion, this will not be as big as what maybe creative think it's going to be, in my opinion. And I agree with exactly what you said. I think that they should have just left the two big men in a stare down and not have them touch yet. Build up that, make the fans want it. Build it up before it happens. And I think they kind of gave it away too soon, in my opinion. Grizzle, what say you?
I agree with both of you on the standoff. We didn't need to see them go at it yet. They need to go in there butt heads. I mean, do the old fashioned, forehead to forehead, where they're just kind of right. Like, two bulls, but don't give it away yet, because obviously that's going to be one of your well, not marquee matchups, but one of your main matchups in this feud is going to be Talatanga versus Rowan.
Well, yeah, not to interrupt you, but if you watch fans' reactions throughout that whole thing that happened, the fans didn't really pop right until those two were toe to toe, staring at each other. So they should have kept it again just like that, because we've seen that's when the fans got excited. Two big men. So go ahead, Grizzle.
As far as Solo goes, I love Solo on a microphone. You give Solo the mic and just let him talk, and that guy is great. I love what he does. And when the inevitable comes and we get the tag team match, I don't want to see. I love JC Mateo, good guy. I've worked a couple shows with him. I like the guy. I don't want to see him in a tag team match. So I want to see Tama and Tongaloa, the actual tag team, go up against Dexter Lumis and Joki, because I think that could, if let those four go, they could put on a killer fucking tag match. Because regardless of the gimmicks they have, Gacy and Lumis are really fucking talented and can tear it up when they're given the chance. Put them with Tonga and Tama Tonga and Tongaloa. God, I can't keep all those names straight. That's going to be your tag team match. Don't make it Tama and JC Mateo or Tala and, Tama. No, it's got to be Tama Tonga and Tongaloa versus, Lumis and Gacy. That, in my opinion, is match. Let the two big men go at it. Let Solo do his thing with Uncle Howdy. And the weird thing about this is, though, is you have, and I can't, I love the White Six. I think it's kind of a fun group. But you got Nikki Cross in there. And she's part of a group that's in a feud with 5 dudes or 6 dudes. We're missing someone for her to battle. I almost want them to bring in a Tamina Snuka or something to kind of give her a woman to work with, because she's just kind of there. And it's kind of an odd thing because Solo and Uncle Hat. Then you got Mateo, and what's he gonna do? He's just kind of standing out there like, well, I can't fight the girl, so I'm just going to kind of... Nikki Cross throws off the balance. So I don't know what they're going to do with that one, other than Nikki just kind of comes out there and, does a cross body or does something great. And I love Nikki Cross. So
Tell me if you guys see this, or is it just me? JC reminds me of Rhino.
Yeah.
with more skill, I think. Rhino was great, but
Well, I'm
I'm
not talking about wrestling ability. I'm talking
look.
about
Yes,
look.
yes.
Yes.
I agree with you 100% on
You
that.
know, it would never. Till you said that, I really wouldn't have associated that.
Yeah. No, he's definitely much better. And nothing against Rhino, but he's
Right.
definitely more athletic, in my opinion, and he's a better skilled professional wrestler. Talking about JC, of course, I just think his stature wise, he reminds me of Rhino a lot. In Rhino's
JC's
years.
always been kind of that stocky and when you have that build, you're gonna get a comparison to a guy like Rhino because there's not a lot of those short fire hydrant looking, or a Taz. You can almost put Taz in that kind of a mix too because he had that fire hydrant build.
Yep. Next we go once again backstage with Nick Aldis. The Miz is talking to Nick Aldis and he's saying, it's not fair. I should be part of Saturday Night Main Event. Nick's like, which or not. And then Bailey shows up and Miz hears Nick Aldis talk about Bailey being part of Saturday Night Main Event. And Miz walks off saying, what the fuck? He didn't say fuck, but, he was frustrated. And then we see Sol Ruka enter. And apparently, from what I gather, my phone broke up a little bit. I was watching this on my phone, so I missed a little bit. But from what I gather, and guys, correct me if I'm wrong, Bailey's going to face the winner of NXT's Deadline between Sol Ruka and her opponent is the name that I missed.
No.
On Saturday Night Main Event.
No. Bailey is actually facing Sol Ruka at Saturday Night's Main Event.
Okay, I swore.
And she told Saul, I'm going to be watching you tomorrow night on NXT to see what you can do. But,
I heard that, but I swore I heard Nick Aldis say that she would face the winner.
No, she's facing Saul.
Okay.
Bailey's going to face Sol Ruka. I believe The Miz is going to have a match on that show as well. I don't know who his in it because every match is going to be somebody from SmackDown Raw versus an NXT talent.
Well,
kind of like when John Cena first wrestled Kurt Angle. That's the theme they're going with for the final show.
Yeah. This is how they're going to repackage B-Fab. B-Fab is going to face The Miz, and The Miz is going to get his ass kicked by B-Fab, and here we go. I've heard rumors that maybe Chris Benoit. I don't know.
I want to say, honestly, if I had to pick somebody, I'd like to see The Miz face Miles Bourne myself.
Face who?
Miles Bourne from the NXT, the Death Yeah, you know who I'm talking about. I think that'd be a good match.
Yeah. I have to be honest with you. Bailey facing Sol Ruka does nothing for me, and I'll tell you why. I think Sol Ruka is so good that I would like to see a match against someone that can at least keep up with Sol Ruka skill-wise. And in my opinion, it's not Bailey. That's just me. And I'm not trying to talk shit about Bailey. Bailey's good. She's done what she's done for the business, right? She's very talented. But, man, this is Sol Ruka. And I think Sol Ruka is just on another level compared to Bailey, even though Sol Ruka is with NXT and Bailey's with on the main roster. And I'll actually let both of you guys come back with, what I just said, your thoughts on that. And start with Robbie.
No, I agree. I mean, with Bailey, I don't know that she can hang with Sol, but you start thinking about people on the main roster. Who would you, I guess Charlotte comes to mind, and maybe I'm, kind of reaching with Charlotte. And you go, I guess Lyra maybe, but
I honestly, I have a feeling both of you are going to disagree with me, but I don't care. It's I like what I like. I think Tiffany Stratton.
I was going to go there,
but she's out right now, so we know that's not the case. But this is also the thing. My fear is because Bailey is on the main roster and Sol Ruka is on NXT, that they're going to have Bailey go over unless their plan is for Sol Ruka to beat Bailey and Sol Ruka gets brought up to the main roster because she was able to beat Bailey. Grizzle?
I'm gonna go with I think Bailey could hang with Sol Ruka in a heartbeat. I don't think it would be an issue. It's one of those cases of they don't let Bailey do what she can do. They hold her back. That's my opinion. I have a little bit more of a personal spot for Bailey though. I got to meet her when she wrestled her second match ever. I know her trainer and I used to go see her at shows at Big Time Wrestling. I love seeing where Bailey has gone, but Bailey is far more talented than what they let her do in the ring now, especially now with the crazy kind of going back and forth character thing.
I think Bailey was better at NXT, to be honest with you. I've always thought that she was better at NXT than what she is on the main roster.
And as far as the matchups go, I know it's supposed to be, the stars of now versus the, but you're not going to see like a Randy Orton or something like that. We're getting Cody Rhodes. Cody said he's going to face either Ricky Sainz or Obafemi, whoever wins. Right, I'm pretty sure it's going to be Ricky because that would just be a match he could do with his eyes closed.
Yeah.
But as far as that goes, so you're going to have Bailey versus Sol Ruka. Charlotte is too main event level to be in this show. They're going to be the top level guys, like your Baileys, your Sami Zayn's, your Miz, but you're not going to get a lot of your main event guys just because I don't think they're going to do that. So
yeah, from what I've heard people say, this Saturday main event is going to very much kind of be like the beginning of the Ruthless Aggression era, where you're going to see a lot of your younger stars who are trying to make their coming ups.
Right. Just like when Cena came out and faced Kurt Angle.
Right.
That's what the concept of all these matches are supposed to be. The young upstart taking his shot at the main event.
Yeah, I'll be honest with you, and we're going to talk about Cody Rhodes next, fighting the winner between Ricky Sainz and Oba. I personally would prefer to see Cody against Oba.
Oh God, yes, I'd love to see Cody versus Obafemi. I would love to see that. I am an Obafemi nut. The first time I saw this, I'm like, who is this dude? Holy shit! It was like seeing Goldberg the first time.
Yeah,
you were like, who is this guy? God damn! And that's how I've always felt about Obafemi. Yeah.
But this is the thing about him.
If he's not on the main roster by this time next year, they drop the ball on that guy because that guy is a main eventer.
Well, I was going to say, this is the thing about him. Regardless if he's in the ring or out of the ring, there's something about him. He just exudes stardom, right? He just gives that off. And I'm telling you, 5 years from now, if this guy isn't at least one of the big baby faces or even heels, whatever direction they go to with him, right? But if he's not that guy in 5 years, I'm sorry, I am going to blame it on WWE and creative or booking, whatever it may be, because this guy is just so goddamn good, man. He really is. This is a guy that could easily fill the shoes of John Cena in the near future. Robbie, what do you think about that?
Yes and no. Physical specimen, great looking guy. As far as the specimen goes, good worker and stuff. He's okay on the mic. So his promo skills, definitely he'd have to bring his promo skills up better. But I agree with you guys on Cody who to face. Not a Ricky Sainz fan. I think he's a knockoff of The Rock, only shorter.
No, he is according to CM Punk, he is the Pebble.
Okay. So, but yeah, he's got the talent to be that guy, and yeah, if he's, it'd be the only, like I said, the only thing, his promos are okay, but they don't you don't go, wow,
The problem with his promos, and this has been brought up on the Jim Cornette podcast before, and I've noticed this, KG, if you've seen his promos, you might have seen this. He's Nigerian, right? And he has the accent. I've seen him do other interviews. His accent is not, it's there, but it's not that thick.
He's been WWE
promos, he puts on a very thick accent, and I don't think he needs to do that.
He's been WWE nice. WWE, when they get their hands on some talent, I think that they hurt them or they bring them down a little bit, in my opinion.
It's almost like making Kofi Jamaican, and then it's like that Jamaican accent, and then it's like,
Right.
okay, get rid of the Jamaican accent. He doesn't need it.
Right.
Obafemi, yes, he has an accent, but it doesn't have to be so fucking thick, and we know it's not that thick.
Right. And this is the thing. There's just little things. Like, for instance, let's go to Ricky Saints, right? And I can only speak for me. It's the little things that could turn me off about somebody, even as little as the fucking name. Ricky Saints turns me off.
Oh, I hate
He's from New Orleans or near New Orleans. And of course, we have the New Orleans Saints. That's why with regret, how fucking stupid and lazy. Creative is lazy when it comes to naming their stars. They really are. We see it with Tola. Really? Tola? That's what you could come up with. How much money do you make? And that's what the fuck you come up with? Come on.
I'm with you. I don't like the Ricky Saints. He wrestled in the Indies here in Texas. Never. It was Ricky Starks. He went to AEW as Ricky Starks. They changed the name, obviously, so that WWE can own the rights to it.
Right.
I'm not a fan of the Ricky Starks or
It's
Ricky
terrible.
Saints name either.
Terrible.
When he first said it, I
doesn't
went, what? But then again, I'm not a fan of Mariah May's name. Blake Monroe makes her, well, actually, Blake Monroe was a porn star.
Really is a porn star. Yeah.
But it makes her sound like a porn star, and it turns out there really was a porn star named Blake Monroe.
Right. There's just things WWE does that drives me crazy. Look, there's some things that I agree it makes sense to me. They get a lot of the wrestlers, especially the luchadors, that do really crazy spots in almost all the matches. And when they get to WWE kind of calms them down and don't allow them to do as many risky spots. I get that. These guys are investments. WWE is literally saving their careers, or at least lengthening their careers. I get things like that. But when it comes to just giving these dumbass names, to me, it's just flat out laziness on creative or whoever is coming up with these names. Fuck. I can do better than that, and I suck at shit like that.
I understand copywriting the name because they want to own the name, but
you can still do better.
They could come up with better names than Ricky Saints, Blake Monroe, whatever else. I'm surprised they haven't tried to change Joe Hendry's name yet.
Yeah. Look, I'll be honest with you. I would rather his name, since he's constantly compared to The Rock, which, by the way, I understand why, but look, he's nowhere near where The Rock is, or where even The Rock was cutting promos. But I would rather they kind of give that ha-ha by saying this is Ricky Johnson instead of Ricky Saints. Ricky Johnson, he sounds better.
There actually was a Ricky Johnson, though.
No, you're right.
There was a Ricky Johnson back well before Robbie Idol's territory days. But yeah, there was a Ricky Johnson.
There was, but
so.
Look, I mean, we had two Steve Williams, and we got it over. Dr. Steve Williams and who's the other?
The other Steve Williams is Stone Cold Steve Austin.
Yeah, Stone Austin.
Changed his name because they already had a Steve Williams.
Right, but that's what I'm saying.
Ricky Johnson. Somebody might go, there was a Ricky Johnson back in the 70s, 80s at WrestleMania.
Yeah, but come on. Today's wrestling fans.
How would you know? Because WWE Creative, because when they named Gunther actually was going to have a last name for a second, but they were naming him after like a German U-boat captain something. So
didn't know that. But going back to there being,
so that's why they just made it Gunther. Gunther something.
Going back to there being another Ricky Johnson. Who cares? With today's wrestling fans who couldn't tell you what happened 20 years ago in professional wrestling.
I know. But I'm just saying, there's already been one.
Right.
But hasn't there been other guys that there's been two of at some point?
Possibly. There's only been one Robbie Idol, though, I think.
Yeah, they broke that mold after.
Yeah, but
they threw that mold out. They just went.
We've had Austin Idol. We now have Brian Idol, Robbie Idol.
Okay, if you're going that way, there's been tons of idols in the ring. Jesus.
Right. To next, we go back to Kathy Kelly's interview. Another interview with Kathy Kelly. This time was with Gunther, and this was actually. I lied when I said Solo was my favorite interview. I think that was the interview that kind of tickled me a little bit. This interview I loved with Gunther. I'll tell you why. He looked in the camera and he told John Cena, "Watch how I win this match." He made a fucking statement. And we'll get to the match in a second. And he made a fucking statement in that match, which we'll get to. Robbie, what you think about this, man? Do you think that, you know, this as short as this promo was, right? It said a lot. Am I wrong?
No, I give you that. I'm just not a Gunther fan. I'm just not a Gunther
Which
fan.
blows my mind. And I see this all the time. You and Bob Cook, this guy absolutely mirrors your freaking era of professional wrestling, but yet you guys think he's boring. What does that say about you two?
Once again, all about the cocaine and hookers tomorrow.
That's right.
We're going back to the dirt now. I had some respect for Robbie there for a second. God damn.
That was on you
We're
for
on-
having
we're on the
respect.
right line.
That's your fault there, Vet. So
I swear to God, if I knew,
I
if
have
I
respect
forgot
for
who was
Robbie.
wearing that shirt, I should have titled tonight's episode "Cocaine Steroids."
I couldn't tell you why. I'm just not a fan of them. I mean, the promo was good though. I did like it. There's just something about him. I just not a fan.
Do you know who he reminds me of? Talk about his promos, and bear with me, guys, because at first you're like, "What?"
Oh, I gotta hear this.
Gunther when he does his promos, he reminds me of Jake the Snake Roberts, in the fact that when Jake the Snake Roberts did his promos, he was even keel. You didn't see him very often lose his shit. He was very matter of fact. His voice was always calm, right? Even kind of soft spoken a little bit. Gunther does the same thing. When he cuts his promos, he doesn't lose his shit. He's not yelling. It's very calm, very matter of fact. That's why those two remind me of one another, because of how they both cut their promos in professional wrestling.
Okay, we're gonna end this show tonight with me and KG agreeing on everything on this one. Because okay, at first when you said Jake, I'm like, they don't even do the same style. But then you explained it's not the promo, it's the delivery. And I'm
Exactly.
gonna give you that. Gunther's delivery is great, and he doesn't have to yell. He doesn't have to be just like Jake. Look in that camera, be very serious. And the great thing about his promos, and you're talking, you know, Robbie's era, 80s, or now, I've talked about this with Bob Smith and Pro Wrestling Illustrated and a few other guys. Gunther would have fit in a main event in the Garden in the 70s. He would have fit in there with a San Martino or a Koloff. He would have went well before Robbie and Bob Cook were in the ring. Gunther is that old school.
Yeah.
And that's great. Black trunks, Jack. He doesn't come out. There's no you don't have the fireworks and everything else because he doesn't need them. And that's why I love Gunther. And his promos are that good too. Because when you look back on promos back in the day, you know, we'll say, you know, Ric Flair. When Ric Flair was talking about his opponent, was he just randomly talking about anything? No. He'd look right in the camera, eyes would get all crazy, and he'd talk directly to that person. You know, that's a great promo. You got to talk to the camera, talk directly to the person. Don't just be like, oh, I'm going to kick, I'm going to do. No. Talk directly to your opponent. And that's what Gunther does. Every promo he does is spoken directly to whoever it is going to be facing him in the ring. And I love it. So I'm with you on that one. And I like the Jake Roberts comparison now that you explained it.
Yeah. So here's a question. And you brought up something. You're talking about people who don't need titles. The Undertaker didn't need a title. There's a bunch of others. As good as Gunther is he a guy that needs to carry a strap on him? He needs a title to continuously elevate him. Robbie, I'm already expecting your answer because you don't like him, but go ahead.
Probably not. I'd say probably not that he'd have to have a title, you know. I mean, because he is one of their top guys. He's over. I mean, you know, a lot of my friends and stuff, they love him. They love him. There's just something, I don't know. I mean, I wasn't a big fan of him even in NXT. Maybe it was because it was like the whole conglomeration there with, you know, the other two guys he was with and stuff. I don't know. But I don't think so. I mean, he is like one of those guys, now that you say like in the 70s, you would put him in that kind of era in there with stuff, just kind of no nonsense, just a brawler, no nonsense guy, so I'm not comparing him to like an Ernie Ladd, but kind of like an Ernie Ladd and all those guys like Dick the Bruiser and, stuff like that. So he's in that kind of category, but I don't think he would need a strap to elevate him.
Yep. What about you, Grizzle?
I don't think should he hold the title again? Yes. Does he need to? No, as long as he keeps producing, the matches that he does. I think he needed the Intercontinental run because that helps cement him as, the ring general, the dominant that he is now. He needed that Intercontinental title run.
So did that the IC title needed Gunther as well.
Yeah. But that run established Gunther as well as establishing the IC belt.
Right.
Does he need a world title? No. Is he going to have one again? Yes. I think he deserves it. He doesn't need it though. I mean, but even the Undertaker got world title, got world titles the other time. Didn't need them, but
Right. Let's go before we get to the match, we have the Aleister Black video package. It was exactly what I expected,
spooky music.
Yeah. Yep. So I mean, again, Robbie, Grizzle, you guys want to talk about it, by all means do so.
Spooky music. Aleister Black in WWF, Malachi Black in AEW. Spooky music.
Right.
Fog, darkness. Spooky.
That pretty much sums it up.
And that is Aleister Black.
Yeah, pretty much. Next, we go to the main event, guys. Gunther versus LA Knight. It was a hard-hitting match. The thing that surprised me the most about this match was how it ended. I didn't see LA Knight tapping out, to be honest with you. I figured it'd be a pin. Has LA Knight actually tapped out before on WWE in recent memory?
Not that I can recall.
Yeah, I don't think so.
Yeah, that's what it's supposed to be. Also, interesting fact that Michael Cole brought out, Gunther, when it comes to one-on-one matches where a title is not involved, he has never lost.
I did not realize that.
Well,
according to Michael Cole.
And we know Michael Cole is the, he's the end-all, know-all of it, everything.
Well, I mean, he's no Grizzled Vet, though.
No. Well, no, he's not.
Well, you're lucky enough to have him.
But we also, though, Michael Cole will make some stupid-ass statements, though. Like whoever he said that, like Post Malone is, performer of the year or performer of the century. I don't know who he's obviously seen in his lifetime to say that that's your performer of the century.
Malone, that's one of my boys. Post Malone, he's from hometown, about 30 minutes from here.
Look, Robbie, just be thankful that we don't have Michael Cole and Tony Schiavone on one show together, right?
Oh, that would be amazing. We would have a little bullshit meter on the side of the screen to see how high that thing rises by the end of the night.
I guess for me, the big question is this. Start with Grizzle.
Okay.
Did the right guy win?
Yes.
And
I think
why?
we all knew Gunther was going to win this thing from the beginning.
Why is Gunther a better opponent for John Cena than LA Knight?
Because of what we just said. Gunther is an old school type of guy. He's represent. I think it's kind of a better match. I think it's kind of it'll be that clash of the style. Cena's style is more not as, it's a little flash. LA Knight and him would have kind of been almost the same type of style. Gunther's going to be a little different. So I think it's going to be, and we've heard interviews where John Cena has said he wants to face Gunther.
Right.
On this retirement tour, John Cena's got everything he wanted. He wanted to face Dominic. That was his idea. And he got to face Dominic. He wanted to face Gunther. I think Gunther is the right choice just because of what we said of, he's such an old school style wrestler that it's a different style. So it's going to be John Cena having to overcome the old school way, whatever, so
Right.
I think it was the perfect one. And as far as this match goes, this is why I said I couldn't say that Ilya and Carmella was the match tonight, because I felt they were both at the same level. It's just one was a modern style with your high flying, your flips, and your. This one was old school. LA
I can
Knight.
agree with that,
They didn't do power. They didn't do flippy
Right.
moves and things. They did a couple off the top rope things,
Right.
but not much. So
Yeah,
it bookended it. You saw two different styles
Right.
of matches, and they were both equally impressive, which just goes to show you it can still be done.
Right. Yeah, and I actually agree with that. There, you just mentioned that John Cena got everything he wanted for his retirement, right? The whole year, him retiring.
For the most part, he got the face we wanted to face.
Well, right. What's funny is I see so many comments of people how Triple H shit all over John Cena and this was blah blah, and I'm like, are you kidding me? If any of these people think that John Cena did something that he did not want to do, they're fucking idiots. I assure you. If John Cena didn't like something, he was going to do it. If John Cena didn't like dropping the belt to Dom, John Cena would have not dropped the belt back to Dom.
No, all this was
Yes.
Cena's.
Yes.
That interview they're going to air on Raw after Raw ends. That interview he's doing. I just read a quote from that thing. He wanted his retirement tour to be a full-time schedule. Like he wanted to wrestle a full-time schedule for the entire year, and WWE said, no, let's just do 36 to make them special, because they wanted to make it special.
Right.
One of 36 dates, not one of. He wanted to wrestle like a full, which would have been 200-something dates. Yeah. That's what he wanted to do. He wanted to do a full-time year, and they went, no, because they wanted to make it special. Yeah. I think that's the one thing where WWE had to tell him, no.
Right. And I think
I don't know if I would have wanted to see a full-time John Cena.
Exactly. I think WWE made the right decision with that. Now, there's also, this is that you, Robbie, and then Grizzled will let you say something about it as well. There's also a lot of fans that said they didn't want to see Gunther be the guy because they thought a match between Cena and Gunther would actually be a very boring match. What say you, Robbie?
I don't, I mean, if I had to pick who is going to be boring on this, like who's going to make it boring, I'd have to say it's Cena. More so, I think Gunther's going to bring it. Like you said, just because I'm not a fan of him, I mean, I'll give him his credit. I think Gunther's going to bring it. If you're going to, if they're saying that, it'd be on, from Cena. And it's just not to, be the typical guy but Cena in his 5 moves, but I have seen Cena have some good matches. It could be a good match.
Yep. Now, I have to admit, I love when Gunther goes up on the rope, on the top rope. That frog splash idea was probably one of the most terrible frog splashes I've ever seen, but it was one of those things that it was so terrible, it was just fucking good. It puts a smile on my face.
It gives somebody might shoot me for saying this. It gives me a Ray Stevens vibe when he comes off that top rope. Because the bombs away was a great move, but Ray Stevens looked like shit when he did it. Because Gunther don't look great, but when he lands it, it's devastating. Yeah. I get a Ray Stevens type of thing when he comes off the top rope. And anybody who disagrees with me, you can email KG Landry at getyourBellRock.com. But that's what I see. I see a Ray Stevens doing the bombs away when he comes off that top rope.
Yeah. Now, do you agree with these fans? Some of the fans that are saying that Gunther Cena equals boring.
No, because I think it's that clash of styles that's going to have. Cena's going to have to figure out a way to get past Gunther's style, and Gunther's going to have to figure out a way to counter Cena's thing. So I think the clash of styles is going to be perfect. And as far as the match goes, if there is an issue with it, it is going to be Cena because unfortunately, he's the 5 moves of doom. Right. But on the flip side of that, Gunther is going to sell those 5 moves of doom because he's a professional. He's going to go in there, and if Cena goes, I want to do this, Gunther's going to do it. And in that aspect, I think that makes Gunther a great opponent because would LA Knight give Cena as much leeway as he wanted, or would he want to? Oh, I want to do this, man. Let me do this because I'm still gonna be going, yeah, and I'm gonna have to do my thing, Or Jey Uso, would he? I'm still gonna yeet. I gotta have the fans behind me. I don't want to do that. It's gonna make me look bad. Gunther's gonna do what he needs to do to make the match look good. He'll sell for Cena, and Cena will sell for him. So in that aspect, I think this makes it going to be a great match. But it's that clash of styles.
Right,
It's
right.
that difference.
I think it's gonna be a great match. I think it's gonna be very entertaining.
It's gonna be far better than Gunther and Goldberg, I'll tell you that.
Well, and that kind of leads me to my next question before we wrap this up. Normally, in a match where whoever's retiring, they normally lose the match. Is this going to be different because it's John Cena, Grizzled? Is he going to go over, or is he going to put Gunther over?
I'm divided on this. I see it. I hate to say it. I'm not even like 70 or 70-30 or 80-20. I'm literally like 50-50. I could see it going either way. I think it's going to come down to what is, Triple H want? What do they want? Cena's going to have a say in it, but it's 50-50. I don't know. Should he go out on his back? Well, yeah, because that's the tradition. You go out on your back, you put the guy over. But Gunther doesn't need to be put over because he's already over.
Right.
But I'll be honest. I could see it going either way and be fine with both of them.
I think Gunther is going to go over because there's always little things that you have to ask yourself, why was this said and why was it said now? And when Michael Cole made that announcement or brought this to our attention that Gunther has never lost a one-on-one match that wasn't for a title. He's never lost one. John Cena, Gunther, not for a title, one-on-one. I think that's kind of a dead giveaway that Gunther is going to go over. So that's going to become a thing.
If he does go over, I want it to be with a sleeper. And I don't want to tap out. I want him to put that sleeper in where Cena just
goes to sleep
and passes out and can't. I don't want to tap because I don't want Cena to tap. I want a sleeper. If Gunther's going to go over, I want the sleeper.
Well, and that's what Gunther said after the match. He directed in the camera and said, Cena, you're going to tap out. Robbie, your thoughts on that and your thoughts on who's going to go over.
See, look at this show tonight. So you and KG are agreeing. I'm agreeing with the vet. So I've agreed with them all night long. I can see it going 50-50. It just I was going to say great minds think alike, but I don't know how much of my mind I have, so I can't say that. You wonder, here's where I'm thinking, if they put Cena over, and this would be my opinion or thought of this, is because the WWE or Creative or Triple H or whatever, they're listening to the fans. So they're going to okay, this is it for Cena. Let's put him over Gunther because this is what the fans want to see. So that I could see that happening, just because them giving the fans what they want, because sometimes they do that instead of just doing what they should do. But I could see it's a 50-50 shot, to see how they were, what they would do. I could see, them just listening to the WWE universe. If Gunther's going over, I want to see him, put Cena out,
Yeah. Now, Anthony Menzino 3551, he said that being that Gunther is a heel, I can understand that he won, and they would say something like that. That could get him massive heat from fans if they betray that he was the one that retired John Cena. Here's a question for you guys. Are we going to see John Cena after the match, if Gunther is the one who wins the match? Are we going to see that handshake or hug between the two, or is Gunther going to be full on heel at that match where he's going to walk away from Cena and not?
I see a handshake between the two at the end, and I see Cena getting his chance in the ring to, unlike Goldberg, not get cut
That was
off.
my next question.
Cena's going to get a speech, and
Right.
the wrestlers are going to be out there with him and all that. They're going to make sure he gets the send off.
Right.
And I think Gunther will break character long enough to shake his hand, because we all know it's all predetermined. You can break character long, and it's not going to hurt anything. And I think it'll be a sign of respect. Thank you very much, because I think Gunther wants this match just as much as John Cena does.
Yeah. Yep. Robbie, same question. You think Gunther's going to break character to shake hands? Or is he going to be kayfabe the entire way? And are they going to treat Cena like he was Goldberg and cut off his thank you speech? Or are we going to have a half an hour set aside for John Cena?
They'll give him the half hour, and here's the reason why. Cena's good on the mic, where Goldberg's not good on the mic. So, yeah.
Well, yeah, but you're still sort of giving the man a chance to say goodbye to his fans and all that. They cut him off like the first minute.
I think they had more to do with Goldberg being that WCW guy back.
I think it had to do with timing. They didn't time that show right.
Yeah.
So, that hard to say. I mean, probably, break character and shake his hand. I don't foresee a hug from him.
No.
And me personally, I would hope not. If you wanted to give him a hug, do it in the back, not on camera. The handshake, that's just the kind of thing of respect.
Mm-hmm.
The hug thing, though, if you're going to do it, I'd do it in the back. That's my opinion. Just, it's not the handshake's the respect. I know the hugs of, whatever, but that definitely would break big time character and stuff. I would do that in the back.
Yeah.
Okay.
My personal opinion.
Right.
Let me throw a question to the two of you then. Save the hug for the back, right?
Right.
With social media and cameras and their YouTube channel and their social media feeds, is there really a back anymore? Or are they going to eventually, they'll show that video of them hugging in the back. Thank you, man. Great match. Appreciate it. And put it on their YouTube feed, because they're going to want to get all those.
They'll wait to their second season of the show that they're doing on Netflix. Can't remember the name of it.
Okay, yeah. But yeah. Is there really a back anymore, though?
But you kind of know where I was going with that.
Yeah, I know exactly where you're going with. But do you think they would show that on their social media channel?
And I forgot about social media. There'd be some jackass back there with his cell phone or whatever, and tape it and put it on.
Or
YouTube.
Just their camera crew. But
yeah.
Well, but I mean, if you tell the camera crew, no, if they have that moment back, do not tape it or whatever.
Yeah. But that brings my question: would they do that?
Yeah.
Or would they want it on film?
You would hope they wouldn't.
Right.
Granted, we all know kayfabe's dead and all that, just because of social media and stuff. But you would try to at least kind of, half-ass keep it a little
Give
bit.
it some respect and keep the curtain closed. Yeah.
Right. Yeah. I honestly don't think it matters anymore. I think it should matter. I wish they wouldn't open the curtain back that far, but regardless if it's on YouTube or, this show that WWE now does on Netflix, when second season is going to be coming out, we're going to see it at some point. By the way, speaking of YouTube, it was announced tonight that WWE broke 1 billion views on their YouTube channel. That's incredible. Yeah. Incredible. Yeah. Get your bell rung. It's knocking on the heels of that.
We're going to get on there, man. We're going to get our own Netflix show pretty soon.
But anyway, that wraps up the recap.
I had a question.
Yeah, go ahead.
You brought up the billion views thing. I want to kind of get your guys' opinion on this, because this came out in the news today, the big headline. Netflix is acquiring Warner Brothers distribution.
Part of it.
Yeah, that's HBO Max and all that. That's AEW's streaming territory. That's their thing. And Warner Brothers distribution is TNT, TBS, and all that. What do you think is going to happen as far as, because already people are talking, is AEW going to coexist on basically the same network now as the WWE? This isn't two different streaming services. It's all owned by one. This is a huge merger. They're calling it like the biggest merger in Hollywood history.
Yeah. I don't know, man. Part of me is wondering, are we going to see history repeat itself with WC? What happened with WCW?
That's a lot of comments are being brought up about that right now. Yeah.
Yeah. So I'm not sure, but I'm trying to pull the article that I read about it today. I don't know. I mean, they bought parts of Warner Brothers, but there's other parts. It's kind of confusing of what's happening. I'm trying to bring up the article.
Yeah, some of their linear stuff is going to stay
Right.
separate, and that's the TBS, TNT, whatever. But Netflix does own HBO Max,
Right.
and that's AEW streaming service is HBO Max.
Yeah. Let's see.
Whatever it may be.
Yeah. The future is certain stuff is weird, but so they're saying current contracts suggest AW's TNT TBS shows are safe until 2027, though long-term streaming and potential WWE exclusive clauses creates big questions for AEW streaming for future on Max. I mean, look, with WWE, all of WWE's content leaving Peacock, this leaves.
There's that too, yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. I don't know. I mean, look, I know this much. I don't want to see AEW go away, just like I don't want to see any promotions go away. I think that not only is it good for fans, it's good for wrestling promotions because it the competition is better. It makes the product better because they try to outdo one another, and as well as it gives options to so much of the talent that back in the day, you left WWE, you're kind of fucked.
Now
we
talked about that last night.
Yeah, multiple places to go to now,
yeah.
And not just the wrestlers. I mean, look all the people that's employed. The cameramen, and all these other people. So I hope it works out. It is all I know. Robbie, do you think that's possible that we're going to see another recurrence of what happened with WCW?
I hope not. I really hope not. I mean, like you said, you don't want to see any promotions go away. Like we talked about it last night. It's just okay, you don't like WWE, you can watch AEW. You don't like that, you just move on to the next till you find what you like. And same, gives people places to go as far as talent wise. Okay, let me go here, let me go there, and like you said, all the other employees, cameramen, ring crew,
right.
who is all the people that are involved in all that. So, it gives them jobs and stuff. And yes, you don't want any promotions to go away because you want that competition, to keep, what happened when WCW did that? Or WWF brought them out and stuff.
Right.
It kind of got, some of their shows were shit, it just, there wasn't nobody to push them,
But this is the thing. I think this is one of the big differences between WCW and AEW. If WCW, if their shows would have still been good, I think they could have possibly found another network to pick them up. WCW was shit by the time WWE bought them. AEW is still a good product. To me, they're putting forth a much better product than what WCW was putting out during the time of the buyouts and all this other shit. So I think that there's a better chance of AEW being picked up by another streaming service or a network, something.
Well, yeah, TNA proved that. They've got picked up by AMC now.
Right, absolutely. So, there's a lot of rumors. We'll end on this, and I want you guys' opinion, short opinions about this. Of course, there's a lot of rumors saying that Triple H was behind Netflix purchasing it because this is them taking care of what's again their rivalries, right? I personally don't believe Triple H was involved whatsoever. I just don't. But Robbie, start with you. I mean, do you think this is something that could be?
Yes, I do believe it. I think Triple H has that kind of personality. I think he's, Vince's son-in-law, you see the stories from Vince, what Vince did, when he purchased WWF from his dad. I can see Triple H having that personality like Vince, and let's put competition out. I could see that.
Yeah. What about you, Grizzle?
I'm with you. I don't see it that way because there's TKO, which is WWE, UFC, and they're in that business, professional wrestling and mixed martial arts. They're not in the corporate offices of Netflix. Netflix is its own corporation that does its own streaming thing. I don't think they really had any say too much in, hey, you should do that, or kind of getting this deal going. However, with the library leaving Peacock and they need a place for that library, I can easily see Triple H going to the Netflix people going, hey, we have this entire library of content. You have HBO Max. You have Paramount Plus now. Let's make a deal and let's put our show on there. Oh, yeah, that's great. But we don't want AEW on HBO Max.
Right.
There, I could see them bargaining. I think they could use WWE product, put it on HBO Max or Paramount Plus, because hell, Netflix obviously likes what's going on with Raw. So I could see that going to it, and then using that as a bargaining tool, going, hey, we'll let you have this content. Okay, yeah, we'll pay this, but we don't want AEW. And I can see that being where
maybe. But another big difference. Another big difference, though, is this. Look, WCW was strong competition with against WWF. In fact, they're beating WWF at one point, right? AEW, I have never considered. Yeah, I've never considered AEW competition to WWE. Yes, it's competition in a way. They're both promotion. They're both professional wrestling companies, but that's about it. To me, there's really never been that competition there. So I think that's also a big difference why I don't think that Triple H would, be in the ears of the powers that be on Netflix saying, hey, you guys should buy Warner Brothers so we get rid of the AEW shit. I don't know.
Like I said, I don't think he did that, but I think he could use it, and I think putting the network on HBO Max or Paramount Plus would be great because it's obviously going to be leaving Peacock.
Right.
So, and I'm sure Netflix would be like, hell yeah, because that's what, from the 70s all the way up to now, years worth of content.
Right. Right. And the thing too is maybe, just maybe, if AEW was picked up by Peacock, that they would make a deal with Peacock where we would be getting, the pay-per-views even cheaper through Peacock or free.
Peacock might be doing the, hey, you subscribe to us, you get the AEW pay-per-view every month.
Yeah, that'd be awesome. Anyway, guys, that wraps up Friday Night SmackDown. I would give this. I would give it a solid B tonight. What about you, Robbie?
Solid B. Yeah.
Yeah. Grizzle.
Yeah, it's got to be. It's getting a B on me. It opened with a great match and it ended a great. Those two matches bookended a decent enough show.
Right, guys. Please subscribe to the podcast. Also, check us out on ECUSA on Roku, Firestick, or other streaming devices. Also, don't forget to check us out on Tuesday as we're going to be recapping a Monday Night Raw. Also, coming on Monday, December 8th, I'm going to have Malibu from the Gladiators on the podcast. He is working with Veteran Pro Wrestling now. So I'm excited about that. You guys have a great weekend, and we will see you all soon. Have a good night, everyone.
Have a good one.